General activity log. I'm currently thinking of the ramifications of journos in the US. There are 30,000 journalists in the US and 60,000 journalists in the UK, whereas that is one per thousand in America. That is one in 100 people in the UK. Mind you, not all of them, or most of them, even report on the UK, to my knowledge. They report rather on international news. These are just, ooh, it was better black. I don't like. I feel like I don't look as good. I look Ringu. And also analysis YouTubers. I can give numbers, but whereas numbers don't lie, numbers don't really tell you anything. Not anything substantive, because numbers tell you the extent of a substance, but the more substance you have, that doesn't make you substantive. We consider substantive the sort of combination, as it were, of substances, and therefore a bit categorical. Uh, and you could say that sort of math is split more or less between categorical stuff and quantitative stuff. I don't know exactly how to split it, but so this is why measures often sort of clash, and quality itself as a measure can be a bit strained, because in the active pursuit of stuff, the more you sort of put in the effort, like me trying to talk, the more ways you can sort of fuck it up. So whereas the proof is in the pudding of the measurement, uh, we don't know what we're trying to prove. We really want to get more propriety with the results, if that makes sense. So journalists, and I was also thinking of YouTubers, analysis YouTubers. How many YouTubers have over 1 million subscribers? So as to, like, uh, there's 500,000 movies, for instance, that have been made on film, I guess that is. And there's a certain drive I have to just like narrow down on this so that I can enter more of a state of apathy uh, than I already am in, which would be quite nice. There are many movie uh, studios, there are many YouTubers putting out stuff. It's just a swell of content. You can't really tell, where action starts and thought ends, which is another sort of conundrum you have with trying to make a measurement, or trying to make a measuring stick more precisely. How many YouTubers are there with more than 1 million subs? It says Social Blade, 10K subs. There was a certain website I got to. This is why writing is so much more useful, because you don't get the baked in sort of pauses. And I'm not willing to do like a fucking jump cuts or whatever, because I don't want to edit. Top 5,000. How many YouTube channels? Top 5,000. Best. Most subscribed. I guess this is like true to the difficulty. Just looking up this bullshit. Or what about 100,000 subscribers? And while, of course, it says 160,000 have over 100,000 subscribers, which is a respectable base. Most journalists have like maybe 30 readers. Or I don't know exactly, but consistently maybe 1,000. So this is Tubics, Tubics. 1,000,000 subscribers. Number of YouTube channels. Number of subscribers. So there's 16,000, 160,000, 950,000. Then 6 million with at least 1,000 subscribers. So there's 6 million people who probably have as good a reach as journalists. Like that one guy who he got a lot more views though. Who at the end of the primary, I think like switched to Trump after like barnstorming on YouTube for Bernie Sanders. I don't know. Don't quote me on that, but it's an interesting thing we have here. This is YouTube. This is the habitat we live on. And we live in a habitat which engages in many different kinds of things. There's creepy YouTube, there's vlog YouTube, there's hobby YouTube, there's history YouTube, and it's debatable how much of it is just for like 12-year-olds. But, arguably most of the world has like a 12-year-old brain, and you could argue the parts of the internet that you particularly have to read might be less for 12-year-olds, but still, I think a lot of reading is for 12-year-olds. And I don't think stuff being for 12-year-olds is bad. I think people are unfair towards, children. I think, we both professionalize childhood to an insane extent and like have children working, right, for like basically part to full-time jobs, 35 hours a week, something like that. It's kind of bizarre, you know, that although it's sort of menial, it's almost as though you can't say like anyone who's gone to school has never been employed. It's just they've never been paid, you know? But that's a whole other thing. So, yeah, there's creepy YouTube, there's vlog YouTube, there's urban exploration YouTube, there's the TED Talks, there's a weird Spider-Man and Elsa videos, there's anime YouTube, there's science history. A lot of it I don't even know. Like, what if I went to my like lead subscriptions? Now, this is an interesting YouTube video, I think, because I'm just, I'm bullshitting, right? That's valuable. There's personality YouTube. There's probably astrology YouTube. Like MBTI, you take a personality test and you're like, whoa, look at this. Cartoon YouTube. There's the YouTubes for like just music, JPEG Mafia. There's your news YouTube for all your fascists and your leftists. Math YouTube. a fairly minor part, and I don't think it's very served well by the format, even though it could be really good. Then, of course, there's multiple levels of like ARG, which I mean, YouTube is inherently ARG because, it exists on a level of time dilation where you have a view of people uh, in a sort of vacation like life where, you know, you see all the sort of milestones, or at least all the yardstones of perception. Yard, kilometer, meter, uh, 10 yard, first down. You get what I mean. Because your existence online is serialized and edited down. Even if you don't edit your videos, you don't really put up videos all the time unless you're some Korean girl who is scared of some guy named like K or something, which is a trip. Even people who put up videos like every day, you still get a certain cross section of the day. So it's almost like the sort of model of employment that we're looking towards in the future is like this syndicated sort of time slot thing of different feudal factions who pay attention mostly to each other but have great knowledge of each other, or at least supposedly. Like, that's my question. How much of the internet do you know? I think I know a lot of the internet. Some of it, a lot of it, I just don't pay attention to anymore. Like, what's like a deep cut? I know like a graffiti YouTuber. I know a a few just like neat YouTubers, hikikomoris. Uh, there's that Wonder Bread guy. Of course, this is internet tourism, so it's less like you'd know it by existing in that community. Uh, what there's different things, Nazis, I guess. What's a an especially special one might be um, some particularly fucked part of the internet. I don't know. I can't say in particular. Uh, it's a weird sort of thing where if it's entertaining enough, it becomes touristy. It becomes like the lol cows, which as soon as I know about a lol cow, I'm sort of to the mindset that for the purposes of informatics, uh, everybody knows about this person. For the purpose of just you know getting things along. But the particular like contour of the internet, I feel like you can overrate the outliers. That's not necessarily statistically vital. Well, it's not at all really because they are outliers supposedly. Uh, so there's millions of YouTubers. There's millions of tweeters. Twitter. What do you? I don't have a W key. What are people on Twitter? Fucking Google Chrome bullshit. Worst fucking system ever. Um, you're called. Oh yeah, tweeters. Do you call them maybe tweeters? Because that feels like it feels like you could say tweeters. I guess you could, but you don't really think of it as a community. You think of it more as like a sort of content mill purely. Car tweeters. It's an interesting crusade we're on. Let's do it. What do we have here? Technology corrections. Why not fiber? Fiber versus copper. What do we really need? JREG and Capistan. Overrated YouTube channel, but I keep watching it. Stone Gremlin Productions. Cinema Snob. I like his sort of presentation, but his actual content, it gets boring after a while because all the movies seem kind of like the same, like 12, 13 movies. Um, Drew Binsky, he's a travel YouTuber, sort of interesting. There's probably like a barrel full of monkeys by that, as far as that goes, travel YouTubers. Murphy Napler, uh, she's someone who does book reviews. They're okay, not my type of books. Uh, David Bennett Piano, I hate music theory. It's boring. Renegade Cut, he's good. I used to think he was kind of shit, but he his videos seem kind of you have to watch them in the right order because he starts with more theoretical videos at the beginning of his channel. Then he becomes a lot more political. Not that I really disagree with his politics or have ever, but like getting it framed in that way, I used to think was kind of a gimmick. It still is, but you got to make the hustle. You got to like, because those are the messages you're probably putting in. I probably underrate them. You know, who cares what I think? Humanist Report. Everybody likes to watch Bloomberg get dunked on. Fantano, boring music reviewer, cool guy. It's really a hierarchy as to, oh, retail archaeology, are office supply stores dying? I'm so interested. Uh, how Kubrick achieved beautiful cinematography of Barry Lyndon. Not interested. I don't care if you get like a seagull to fly away. You know, there's already been songs about that. I don't need another song about that. Now I'm gonna play the John Hughes Paradox. I'm gonna be listening to it on my headphones, so you can't listen to it. Yeah, this is like a food review channel now. We're really relaxing. Really, really relaxing. Town of Silent Hill. Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition. So, I don't know what that is. Probably like an enhanced edition of Silent Hill 2, maybe. Come Town Auschwitz announcer. Too funny, boring. Um, Ryan Hollinger. He has an annoying accent. Um, Square Eyed Jack. Every level of Crash Bandicoot ranked. That sounds interesting. The Punk Rock MBA. I know about this guy. He did a video on, I believe it was not grindcore, something else, but it involved the band Fuck on the Beach or Spaz. I forget who exactly. One of those two bands. I think might have been EP name and the band was Spaz. He's okay, but I don't feel like it's really interesting to focus on punk rock. especially if you're only focusing on like sort of 2000s memory punk rock and kind of late 90s. Seems a bit myopic. Trevor Wong, he writes a bunch of he makes a bunch of chord progression videos for math rock. Uninteresting. Music theory sucks. It's gay. Uh, Cult of Theory Tilly by Oki's Weird Stories. I might listen to that. KGB Encounters in Azerbaijan. I'm game. Okay, now the benefit now of having this in a video is that I can't murder myself with new video recommendations. So, although it seems to be positive, oh no, it's not. Jimmy Dore, underrated, kind of funny. Uh, Ezra Koenig breaks down his most iconic songs. Gonna listen. Vampire Weekend is good. Kenny Beats is you should make more candy colored sounds. I like him on the beats. You should beat some shit up. Your movie sucks. Good catalog, sort of like the opposite a bit of Anthony Fantano. Not that he's a bad person. It's just his content kind of comes from, you know, a bit of a sort of self-serving angle, whereas I think Anthony Fantano comes from a bit of like a sort of too broad and assumedly objective angle. And so with his music reviews, I'm just like, oh, I'll just listen to music myself. In the time I could listen to an Anthony Fantano video, I could maybe listen to like 12 different clips from 12 different bands, you know? It's just a better use of my time. I don't care if he like uh uh sort of curates it better because, you know, at that point his channel is what, like uh 3 videos a week, then existed for 10 years. That's uh what, 1,500 bands. It's probably more. It's probably like 8,000 bands. But it seems like, a lot of that is just sort of like sort of reservoir, small reservoir. But I learned about OOIOO on his one of his podcasts, so I'll grant him that. But it was from like a music fan, and it showed me that, like, yeah, very heterarchy. It's better, or rather polyarchy. It's better to have more voices. City Beautiful, sort of. Hmm. Okay, YouTube channel. I think I might be done now. I'm gonna take it till 24 minutes. Shrouded Head, Shrouded Hand, okay, YouTube channel, sort of medical history, sort of interesting. And Adam Neely, shit, and horror books have lost their identity by In Praise of Shadows. I think that's correct. Okay, we're done.